Hi. You're so gorgeous.
Oh, so do you. How are you?
Great. I'm great. I just made it back home last night, so I'm like itching to go outside. I was
Girl,
gonna set up outside. Oh, I just need to.
how's the weather?
It's beautiful. That's why I'm like, springtime is like, oh my gosh. It's like everything comes to life. And I
Yeah.
feel like I do too.
I feel that. I feel that. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time.
No worries. You're good.
Um, so thank you so much for being here with me today. And like it's an honor and a pleasure to have been given the opportunity to do this interview with you, especially because I know you don't do a lot of interviews.
No, yours. Well, I like, I was actually happy that you reached out. I'm like, oh my gosh, like something I actually want to talk about. So yeah.
Right, exactly. Because Dreka, I was gonna say, like, this was my whole introduction. Like, the media often introduces you to the masses as Kevin Gates' spouse or as the businesswoman that has propelled his career from bottom to the top, like the woman that run multiple businesses in secret because, we don't really know
Right.
that's you.
Right.
Or also as a mother of two precious children, East Lancaster.
Yes.
However, although all these titles really do define some big parts of who you are, I feel like people, like the media especially, are missing out on one major aspect of your personality, and that's your spiritual side.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Meanwhile, your spirituality and soul-centered lifestyle has like it plays a big role in the woman that you are today, right?
Yes, yes, it does.
Oh,
Like a huge role. And I love that you recognize that. Like that's why I was like, oh, of course I'll do this interview with you.
okay.
Because it's like I'm tired of talking about all that other stuff. Because like you said, like at the end of the day, those are all like labels. And it's like, yes, I've done all those things, but there's just like so much more to just like life and just where I'm at like in this moment. So I'm just happy to be here and just like having this
Oh,
discussion
thank
with
you
you.
so much. And I'm happy to really make it about you and your soul and your spirit. I'm really eager to have this conversation. So my first question is, how would you define your spiritual beliefs? Like, what do you actually believe in?
Mhm. The thing that I'm most connected to at the moment is just like the power in nature for one, because I really help that. Well, I know without beyond a shadow of a doubt that that is what helped me to really connect to my higher self. Like that is where I'm at spiritually. It's all about me remaining and staying just like in tune with myself,
Mm.
because that is actually what's really like propelled me and really helped me to, I guess, just like overcome just difficulties and just difficult moments and uncomfortable situations. So really connecting with myself and being in tune with myself is like, that is really what my spiritual practice is sort of like centered around.
Mm. So, can you tell us the story of your first encounter with spirituality? How old were you when you first discovered what spirituality was, and what exactly led you to your current spiritual beliefs?
Oh, wow. This actually goes all the way back to when I was 13 years old. And so I grew up in the South in the United States. And so it's really big on,
Louisiana, right?
yes,
Louisiana, right?
Louisiana. And so they're big on just like churches and you know, all that stuff. So at the age of 13, my mom was, she was kind of like forcing me to go to church every Sunday. And it was just like one Sunday, I was like, you know what? Like, I don't want to go. and that's not something, if anyone knows anything about, you know, like down south or southern parents and all, like, you don't say that you're not going to church. Like, that's not a thing. But the reason why I didn't want to go, because I felt that like the preacher always sort of just made me feel uncomfortable and just talked down on like the youth. It was always, oh, the youth this and the youth that. And it's like, no offense, but I don't want to go and sit in this place for almost 2 hours just to hear someone talk down on the youth. Like, no, thank you. So from then on, I don't think I've set foot inside of a church since then. And it's like no disrespect to that, but in that moment, I realized that there was way more to just like spirituality and then church. So that
And
was kind of
so,
like,
go ahead.
no, you go.
So how did you start digging deeper into spirituality? How did you, navigate this whole world? And how did you find yourself in nature?
Oh, well, finding myself in nature took a very long time. Believe it or not, like prior to moving to the farm, well, actually, I was saying like 2019, so much happened in between being 13 to like now. I'm almost 36, so a lot has transpired, you know. But I'll just kind of do like a quick overview, I
Go ahead.
guess. You know, we get faced with like just challenges with parents, our spouses, freaking college and bosses and whatever. So, but throughout that time, I've read a lot of just like I guess like self-help books. Because I've always sort of been like in tune and sort of considered myself to be like a psychic in a way. But that really just comes with just being in tune with yourself. And so that's kind of like I got into that. I got into like just like reading a lot of self-help books. And then when it comes to being in nature, um, just being in California, and you know, they're really outdoorsy people. They're really like sort of progressive when it comes to spirituality and health and things like
Mhm.
that. But it really wasn't until I moved to the farm early 2020, right before COVID, again, that was like I was having a ceremony and something just came over me and it was like, what are you doing here? Why are you here in California? You have a farm in Mississippi. Like, why are you here? Your backyard, you can probably walk from your back door to the backyard in like 2 minutes. Like, you stay in the house all day. Like, why are you here? Something just came over me and told me that I needed to move to the farm. So I came to the farm and I can't even really explain what came over me, but I just fully immersed like in the farm life, in with nature. Um, I just really can't even explain it. Like, I really call this place, I consider the farm to be like magical,
Mm.
because it's like when you're here, it's almost as if you're forced. I'm sorry I keep looking that way because that's like the door like to outside. Um, when you're here, it's almost like you're forced to just like be with yourself and like your own thoughts and things that like just shit just comes up. You know, and it's almost like you're just forced to face them and to deal with it. And like being in nature, like I've just learned so much. Go, please go.
You and I, we are insane because I kept that question for the end of the interview, but since we're talking about it right now,
Yeah.
I was thinking, how does someone that has worked so hard for so long to make a name for both her husband and herself decide to give up on all the glitz and glamour that Hollywood has to offer to go live on a farm, especially as a Virgo who has like bossy, that's, I'm assuming because that's what Virgos are known
That
for. You have
yes.
bossy and control freak tendencies. And I
Mm-hmm.
find it so like mind blowing that you somehow decide to prioritize a life where you have like little control over things. As in, like when it comes to nature, she is the decision maker, not you. So
Yes.
I'm like, how?
Like I've literally have surrendered. Like that's all I can say. Like all of that, things have to go this way, things have to be this way, you need to be this way. Like I have completely surrendered. Like I'll tell you this, it had gotten to a point to where I don't know if you saw this, but I took my breast implants out.
Yeah.
It was just like all of these things kept happening, and I'm like, okay, it's time for me to go now. I'm like, I'm in California. I'm like, it's time for me to go. And when I got here, it just opened up even more, but it really came through surrendering. But it was almost as if I had reached like a breaking point, just like in my life, but it was showing up physically, like in
Mhm.
my physical, like for me, like my face. Oh my gosh. I have never really had like really bad acne, but my skin just like freaked out. It looked horrible. And I've actually been considering sharing this picture um with like everyone. It's crazy. You're gonna be like, that's not true. Like that's Photoshop. It's that bad, Savannah. Like it's horrible. And it was really just like, okay, like I'm eating right. Like, what the hell is going on with me? And so it really just, I had to come here and I surrendered. It was just like nothing else matters right now in this moment. Like nothing else is more important than me figuring out really like what's going on with me right now. And it was really just all spiritual. Like when I say that, it's like everything, everything, like it doesn't matter what the hell it is. It begins and ends like with the spiritual. It
Yeah.
just shows up for us differently. You know what I'm saying? So Dreka had to surrender. So that's how that happened. But yeah, a lot of people ask me and they're like, I can't believe, well, they see it now, but they're like, why are you moving to the farm? Like, why are you doing that? Like you have this and you have that. And I'm like, I don't, no offense, but I don't care. Like, yes, I do. But at the end of the day, like I really found myself here and I'm so just like connected to it now. And it's like I'm almost attached. I hate leaving. Um, but yeah, I had to surrender. And I feel like that point comes with it comes in life and you can either accept it or you can remain in this basically like this fight with yourself, you know, and never reach, you know.
Would you say it has come to you before, but you were not ready to embrace it yet?
Yeah. Yes. I feel as though I've been called to a higher purpose for years, you know, like, and then it's just like I'm always fucking hitting the brick wall, like hitting the wall, hitting the wall. It's like everything else, everything looks great on the outside, you know, but it was like really showing up for me before I moved here. And it was just like, I had never experienced it to that extent. It
Mm.
was just like, okay, you can't ignore this now. Like this is like literally plastered all over your face, Dreka. Like if anyone sees your face like this, they're gonna wonder like, what's going on with you? Like, and I actually really want to share this picture with you because I'm gonna do that. You're gonna be like, wow. But I'm really, really big on energy now, and I know I'm probably skipping ahead. You probably were going to ask me this, but just Seriously, just want like with clearing out negative energy and making space for light and love. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry. You go ahead while I look for this picture for you.
I already love you so much. Like I already love your energy while watching your YouTube videos, like all the gorgeous pictures that you post on Instagram, but like talking with you right now is just it's just so much joy. I love it. And so
Oh, thank you.
can you I don't want to invade your privacy. So if you don't want to
Uh-huh.
respond, you don't. But what did resistance look like for you exactly?
Resistance. Mm,
You know, when you say you were hitting the brick wall and you kept hitting that brick
yeah.
wall, what did it look like for you exactly? Uh,
It
Asking
actually
that so that other women, especially women of color, can relate better to your story.
resistance will look like repeated cycles.
Mm,
It's like this thing just keeps on happening and you're like, but I'm not doing anything. You're not looking at yourself, but you're like, why the hell does this one particular thing or this handful of things, like, why does this keep happening? And that's where it is. It's like the cycle, it will keep repeating. Like I don't know, it could be anything, but if this thing like keeps showing up for you,
mm.
that is that is a one clear sign that you are you're not you're not leaning into the lesson. You're like, oh, I don't want to hear this right now. I don't want to see this right now. Whatever. You let it pass. You're like really passive about it. And then it just comes right back around. It's like, hey, I'm still here.
Yeah. You still
Like
have to deal with
literally.
me.
Exactly. Like that's what happens. Like it's just the same shit just keeps repeating. And it's like, no, it's time for me to kind of like really step back and kind of like take inventory, of
Yes,
self and really try to like break that cycle. But
stop
it's a
making
repeated
excuses.
cycle. Yeah, it's a repeated cycle. So like if anything is just showing up just over and over in your life, that's how you know.
So what was the other question? What feelings did you experience while you were learning how to surrender? How difficult or easy was it for you to surrender?
It's not very easy, especially being a Virgo, like you pointed out. You made a oh my gosh, such an amazing point with that one. Because we love controlling everything, So it was very difficult. Experienced a lot of just like being overwhelmed
Mm,
and anxiety.
mm.
Lots of it, just really feeling like I'm going to literally explode,
And how
you
do you
know.
overcome that?
Ex- okay, now that's where we get into just clearing the energy,
Mm,
I always make it a point to make sure that not only like the energy like around me and externally is clear, but also internally, because um energy is not meant to be like stagnant. Like energy is always meant to be in motion,
mm.
you know energy is meant to be in motion, point blank, whether it's happy, excited. You can't be happy and excited 365 days
I
a
wish.
year. You
I
know what
wish.
I'm saying? Like, I don't know. You might be, I don't know, on your way out the door at the 365th day of just, being in the clouds. But I just feel like whatever it is, like energy is just always meant to be like in motion. So one way that I actually deal with that is, and I've mentioned, I think I did a video on this, but I do like a lot of writing.
Mm,
Um, because again, we always encounter things that may feel uncomfortable to us, that may just outright piss us off. you know, it just doesn't feel good. So instead of just like holding on to those things, I write it down and then I burn it,
Mm,
because it actually changes the energy of that. It neutralizes the negative energy and it allows you to be free from it, you know, because I'm sure, as you know, like blocked energy in the body, like causes all sorts of ailments, diseases, all of that.
yeah.
You know, that's all. And
So
then when it comes to clearing my, go ahead.
no, when it comes to clearing your energy,
Oh
what was
no, and I'm just saying, so that's like what I do, just like internally,
Mhm.
just to always make sure that I'm able to, one, just like contain myself, and to be able to better deal with just like life in general, you know, because that's what happens when we're just so full with just everything. Like we get to a breaking point and it's like you don't ever want to get to that breaking point, so that's why you always make sure that your space within is clear. And then just like with externally, like burning sage, which I do a lot, is, you know, it's amazing for that, you know. um
I
yeah,
actually
just getting
have
that.
a serious question about sage though.
What's
And
up?
Like, do not please. This is a judgment-free zone, you know?
Oh no, we're judgment free. No, I look.
So in one of your YouTube videos, you said that if someone in your house can stand the smell of sage when you burn it, they should probably not be in your house. Now I got a real ass question. Because, and I know people secretly wonder as well, what if
Yeah.
I am the one that cannot stand the smell of sage?
Well,
Am I
and
the
you know what?
demon?
After I said that, I was like, because someone else has asked me that, and they were like, they told me that their spouse just cannot. Two people told me this, and they were like, Dreka, what should I do? And I'm like, damn, I'm like, I probably should have said that.
That's my case as well. Like I can't
Yeah.
stand it.
Yeah. I mean, and then again, to each his own, like
Mm.
honestly, like that doesn't mean that, oh, I'm a horrible person like that. I mean, to each his own, because some people, like, it is very strong, you know, and but it's also like really, really medicinal. So it's just like we might not like freaking take in essential oils. Like I take essential oil tinctures and that shit doesn't taste good. You know what I'm saying? I don't like it, but it's good for me, you know. So
I love
that's really
how
like what.
vulnerable and honest this whole conversation is. I just love it.
Yes. Like I'm so just like, that's just the space that I'm in. Like nothing, I feel as though a part of, not a part, but like really my purpose here, like in this lifetime, in this moment, is really just like sharing my journey.
Mm.
Because what I'm doing right now is, man, if you would have told me that I would be doing what I'm doing right now, like early 2019, or even at the early to mid 2019 or before then, I would have been like, oh, I don't know about that. You know? So I don't know. I'm just me.
And then you have also other alternatives, as you said. So you take essential oils, but you also have incense. I do personally love incense. I think it smells super
Yeah.
good. You have
Yeah.
aloes.
Palo
I
Santo or
always say
whatever.
Palo Alto. I'm like, girl, this is a whole city.
Hey. Oh, and that's okay. But yeah, Palo Santos.
Palo Santo.
Yeah.
And luckily for us, you sell that. You sell those products as part of your brand,
Mhm.
Dreka. It's
Yes.
a beauty and wellness brand where you sell candles, sage, skincare products, Palo Santo. Um, so what I want to ask is, can you show us how you do your cleansing ritual?
Mhm. Sure. I can
Can you cleanse
definitely
also,
do
can you cleanse like the energy of this whole conversation? Because it is not, I'm sure it's not because we're both really, we both have like really good intentions that, mean energies cannot like
Oh yeah.
sneak in.
Oh no, no, no. Like honestly, I feel as though like this, once this is like out and people get to see it, I really feel as though, I mean, because it's all about what we put into it. You know what I'm saying? I feel as though there's like trolls, of course,
Yeah,
but they don't really matter, because the good outweighs the bad in everything.
absolutely.
Um, so yeah, but I will do that as well. But this will be received really well. So no worries.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I have my sage here. And the first thing that you want to always be sure of when you're dealing with really anything and just like in life in general is to always like be clear in your intention.
Mm,
So never, ever, ever focus on what you don't want.
mm,
Like that is so counterproductive. Like people just have no idea because you can say, like, the universe doesn't hear, oh, Savannah doesn't want this. Like she actually does want someone that's the total opposite of her and doesn't like anything that she likes. And you know what I'm saying? Like the universe doesn't hear that. The universe hears, oh, Savannah's putting like a lot of thought into this.
mm.
This must be what she wants. Let's manifest this. So first off, always just be clear in your intention. Okay. So I'm just gonna make an intention. First, I'm just gonna ground myself and just kind of like,
Do I close my eyes as well?
you don't have to, you can. That's just what I have to do in order to like, like be like clear in my
Yeah.
intention. Yeah. So the intentions that I'm going to place on this sage is for this interview to reach so many people and for them to get whatever it is that they may be like stuck on their journey and kind of like not knowing which way to go or the right decision. But I just pray that it inspires the masses to be true and authentic to themselves and just for this to just be received well. Okay. And so then I mean, we put that into the sage. Okay. And so now I'm just going to burn it. Don't mind my torch.
The farm life.
But it helps me to get like a really good light. So some people are like, oh, that's kind of harsh, Dreka. I'm like, but it gives a really good light. And so then I just do this and I'll just put it around all over my body. And also like people, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but it kills airborne pathogens, and it can also like really like uplift your mood. So
Mm.
if you're like not in the best space, maybe you're being like hormonal or something, and but if you inhale the smoke, like it will instantly like lift your mood. But yeah, and then I'll just take this like with my tray and I'll just like walk around the house or wherever I feel like the, energy needs to be moved a little bit. So yes, that's how I burn my sage. And then I'll follow up with like the Palo Santos because I feel like I use this to like call in like the love and the blessings. And then it just smells like so sweet. So I'm gonna
I need to
burn
try
some.
this. I
It
need.
smells, oh my gosh. Yes, you should. And the Palo smells so good. And this you have to like burn a little longer
Mm-hmm.
and kind of try to let it catch a little bit. But it smells so good. I'm gonna go ahead because I don't really want it. Okay. Same thing. I go over my body and just walk around the house and oh my gosh, it just smells so good and just like inviting, and I really feel like it invites in like all of the love and the
Mm.
blessings. But yeah, and that's
Are there
it.
other tools that you use to practice your spirituality? So you have a journal, you have cleansing products, which is
Mhm.
also funny because cleansing and detoxing is really the whole branding of both your life and your brand. Because
Yes.
even your skin products, they're like shedding old skin, you know?
Yes.
And it's
And like releasing the day.
correct,
Yes. Mhm.
absolutely. And I was like, I was scrolling through like all your stuff, and I was like, man, Dreka is really about letting go. And
Yes.
like let go and welcome the new. Like constantly emotion. Like you said, you are
Yes.
constantly in motion. You grow,
Mhm.
it lives as long as it needs to live, and then you let it go, and then you grow something new. And I absolutely
Yeah.
love that.
I'm just so like, this is just makes my heart like literally smile, because that is the message that I want people to get and to hear and see. It's like this, nothing is permanent. Like
Mhm.
everything is meant to remain like in motion.
Yes,
Like, and
yes.
it's okay for us, like when we're faced with difficulties or when we're feeling uncomfortable, like be with that emotion, like be pissed off, be sad, be hurt, be all those things. But then take a second to like really step back, you know what I'm saying? Like really kind of change your perspective on what happened and really see the real benefit that you actually gain from that. And then I associate like a better kind of feel good emotion, like being grateful or being blessed, and you're gonna find something if you dig deep enough,
Yes.
and then you let it go and you move on to the next. So,
But you know
oh
what?
my God.
That requires, and I know that's one of your qualities because this interview that you did, I think it was in 2020 with Kevin, where
Yes,
you were
yes.
present, but you really didn't talk much, you know?
No. Yeah.
And in like just from that interview, and of course it confirmed my thoughts were confirmed with by watching all your videos, but one big quality about you is that you were so selfless.
Yeah.
There's like
Yes.
no ego in you. I mean, and what I can see, I don't know
Right, right,
what
right.
happens behind closed doors, but you are so selfless, and you need to give me a training course because
Look, you know what I really want to do is
oh, Dreka, man.
start come and visit me now. Yes.
Oh,
No,
your
I can
connection,
hear
yeah.
you.
Okay, so it blocked for me the minute you said, you know what I really want to do?
Oh, I really want to have retreats on the farm,
Oh, yeah.
because it's like I feel like the magic is here, but I do think it would be good to share it like, with the masses. But I have people that come and visit me now, and it's like when they face like difficulties and they'll like shoot out here and we'll just be outside, and man, and we just like let go and move on to the next. But I'm definitely open to doing that because it takes practice, but it's like once you get the hang of it, it's almost like, oh, like
Right.
you know how to work with everything.
It's like the it is what it is mindset. It is so, but it's just so difficult to get a grasp on
Yeah.
because why is it the way that it is? You know?
Exactly. Yes, that was me though. I swear, like at my breaking point, it was like, why? Why me? Why? Why? And it's like,
Especially as a Virgo, you need explanation. You need logic.
exactly. Yes, but I had to, so I had to really like let that go. Like, no, everything doesn't have to be fucking explained and like written down in a manual for me, you know? And that was very, very difficult to let go of. And that's why I say, like, I really had to surrender. Like, you have to surrender. Like, you have to be like butt naked with like nothing else but yourself, you know? So
Yeah. And so would you say that surrendering can only happen after a period of pain?
yes, but do you know that like the most enlightened people,
Have
they've
suffered.
suffered the most, but they found their way to like the other side of it. Like
Yes,
it's the truth.
I
Man,
know.
it's the truth. So it's like, yes, it does come from that, but you know why that stuff happens. It's not the people they're not doing anything to you. Like nothing is happening to you. It's all happening in order for you to grow and evolve. Like that's all it is,
Yes.
you know? And but you know, a lot of people, and I was one of those people, it was like, why me? It's like, girl, stop it. You know? Like, yeah. So you really have to, and that's where you get to kill your ego,
Yes.
because your ego is the one that's saying, why are you doing this to me? And then it's like, no, this is not happening to you. This is an experience in order for you to grow, woman. Like, this is what's happening right now. And I need you to see that. So, yeah.
And does your ego still persist from time to time?
Oh, hell yeah. She's like, girl, you're tripping. And it's like, girl, no, I'm not. I'm living my best life. You know what I'm saying? So yes, like it's, but that's the one thing I also want to share. Like it's never ending, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But all of it is just for us to become like better beings, like to evolve and just like I'm really like, how do I say this without being too crazy? I'm just I'm
Oh
just
no, nobody is crazy here. Absolutely nobody. Mm-mm.
no, I'm just kidding. But that's really to help us to get to this place of just being one with everything and everyone, like where things don't really have that much of an effect on you, you know, because life, like we were literally put here to suffer, like no lie, like that's just is what it is, but it's all in how we deal with life's experiences, you know. From a kid, like we're probably got traumatized for being told we couldn't have like ice cream and just held on to that, you know what I'm saying? And that just like evolved into something, you know, even worse as an adult. Like I mean, it's insane. I've done a lot of self-discovery. So I'm serious, man. It's been quite a journey, but it has been like I've welcomed it all, which is like why I'm in the place that I'm in now. So
I love this so
yeah.
much. So what is the most life-changing lesson that living on the farm has taught you?
Oh geez. Oh man. There's really there's been so many, but this is gonna sound so cheesy and corny, but love. Like the power in love. Love has the power to tame a freaking like raging mountain lion. Like love is the most powerful thing, and it really does heal all. Like it heals all wounds, it heals all pain, hurt, like it's amazing.
So
Seriously.
what kind of love are you talking about? Because if I can read you well, I know that you are also thinking about love from the plants.
Mhm. Yes, but just like love in general, like when you see, the plants will teach you what you put love into or what you put your energy into, like you will get that back. I
Mm,
will say that like in the garden, oh man, I had this horrible experience where I pretty much like neglected my garden. I came back and it was oh man, a mess. And I literally, I think I cried because I'm like, that was like, she was talking to me and she was like, you neglected us. And like,
mm,
this is what happens when you neglect us. But then it was also like a mirror of like myself, like Dreka, like this is what happens when you neglect self, like when you neglect yourself, you know? So it's really self-love and also giving love and being love in all situations. Like even when someone's, oh man, I'll tell you this crazy story. I was at this hair salon that I don't really go to that often, and this lady was being like so rough with my hair and like moving my head like this, and I'm like, okay. I was like, you know what, I was like, I'm not gonna use my words right now. I'm just gonna really like come back to myself. And then I was like, let me just send her some love because who knows what the hell she's going through, you
yeah.
know? Next thing I know, she's like caressing my head, like just being super gentle and oh my gosh, your hair is so beautiful. I'm like,
Oh
and
my
that was
God.
just like, it was just, yeah, it was just so instant. But it's like if you can really like feel love and like really contain that and being able to like direct it, you know, I know I'm all over the place,
No,
but
you're not. No, you're not.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a
But
lot.
yes, like
We love
mhm.
it. You actually should, I mean, I don't know if you have time for that, but you actually should start a podcast or something because you have
Oh,
like so many things to say. And the fact that, that's also what I love about you is that all these other celebrities or, renowned people in the industry, they have done so many interviews. You know a lot about them without really knowing them.
yeah.
You are a whole mystery. You are like the temple that we want to get in,
Yeah.
but we don't know how, and we don't know when we will be able to get in. So we just, like you said, surrender. We let it come in. Like whenever
Yeah.
we post something, we take it and we don't ask for more.
Yeah.
We take it.
It's like we are accepting of this and thank you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking, but this is really the energy that you exude. It's
Mhm.
really how do you say that? Authoritative.
Authentic. Oh, authoritative.
Yeah,
Wait.
authoritative, but in a good way. It's like your presence is so, you are just there. Like we can feel you. We can actually
Oh,
feel you. And this is really what I love about you, especially because you allow yourself to be like really vulnerable and authentic, and
mhm.
you're just you. I mean, who
Yeah.
cares if you are like responsible for Kevin's success, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
who cares? You were just
Right, right, right.
you're
No,
just you.
seriously though, I swear, because I had also gotten to a point to where it was like, even with that situation, it's like at some point though, like I would work behind the scenes and all that, but people would overlook like me and just actually what I had done. And then it's so crazy. I was telling someone, I just had the thought, I'm like, it's so crazy, like now that I have the recognition, like I don't even care. I'm like, no, I'm over here on a farm with animals, like
Yeah, because you are above it now.
yeah.
And you know what? That makes sense because you have detached from your ego.
Yes, yes, like I'm like, oh yes, I did, like thank you for recognizing that, but that was that.
I'm past it now.
So
Bye, girl.
yeah, I know, but yeah.
And so when it comes to energy,
Mhm.
That's a big question. So you've mentioned it multiple times. You are very intuitive, and you've said in previous interviews that you are an empath that picks up on the energy around you.
Oh yeah.
My question is, how are you able to pick up on energies? Like
Oh
if
my God.
someone came to you and asked you, Dreka, I want to learn how to awaken and strengthen my own intuition. How do I do that?
Oh wow. That really comes with being in tune with ourselves because our bodies know, like our bodies are going to tell us everything. you know, it's really, that is so hard to like put into words, but
Yeah.
it's like you feel it, and it's like even now in the past, I couldn't do it. Like being in large groups of people was so much for me. I would literally like shut down. Like
Mm,
I just couldn't do it because it was just too much for me, and other people it came off as, oh, she doesn't deal with people. She doesn't talk to people. She does,
yeah.
but really it was just really overwhelming for me. I couldn't handle it. It was too much. Um but now I've how do I it's like I recognize it, but I don't take it in and hold it. I
Mm,
feel like in the past, I would just suck it all up, and like my body would get tense and tight, but now I've sort of placed up like boundaries to where I don't take that energy in, if that makes sense. It's so it's crazy,
let's put
but
it
yeah.
into like let's put it into situation. Like if I come to you, what would make you say I come off as like negative? Like what do you
Um
usually sense when someone is,
Yeah, a lot of times I will feel some people, my heart will actually kind of get a little tight. It's the weirdest, like my chest will get tight, or in like my stomach, it'll get really tight or feel really heavy.
you'll feel
Um,
uneasy?
yeah, you feel like your body's like, girl, what's going on with them? you know? And that's really how I look at it now. I'm like, oh, okay. And I try not to exchange that energy. And this is where the love comes in. So here I am, I'm being approached by this person, and I can literally like feel it in my body because my body's like wanting to, I'm like, no, Dreka, love, like just relax. Like they're not here to you're just picking up on them. And then I'll just greet them like in the most loving way possible. And it kind of like actually will change their vibration.
Mm,
So that is something that I think is a really great tool for people that are empaths and pick up on other people's energy. Is like when you encounter that, just counter it back with like loving energy, and that will change what you're
yeah,
feeling. Yeah,
because
that's yeah.
something that a lot of um I mean, I'm tempted to say a lot of people do is like return to sender. But as spiritual beings, we're not supposed to do that. Like you cannot go to someone that has psychic abilities and ask them, hey, I got put the evil eye on me. Can you return it back to its sender?
Right,
A good spiritual leader is supposed to tell you, no, we cannot do that. I can remove
right.
it from you, but I cannot send it back to the sender because
Back,
that's not what
right.
we do in spirituality. Because that
No,
would make you no better than that person.
right. Exactly, because you're sending it back to them. And then something that you can do with that, and even if people come to you and ask of that, it's like, no, how about we just send this back to the nothingness, from where it came, and not necessarily, I'm going to send this back to whoever sent this to me, No, we're going to just send you on your way in a loving manner to the nothingness. We're going to neutralize you, we're going to disperse you and be gone, you know?
Yeah. And on the opposite situation, when someone that comes to you and like it's a good spirit, how do you recognize that?
It's just like it now that it feels good. Like how we're just like vibing right now. It feels good, It honestly feels good. So that's how you recognize that. Like your body isn't all like, what's
Mm.
going on? you know, it really feels good and it resonates with your heart.
That's it resonate with your heart. That's the
Yes.
thing, because we're not supposed to lead with our head, the mind. No, it's the heart. It's the heart
Right.
that matters. And
Yes.
eventually, I know that it's a little pep talk. I know that sometimes it's scary and we tend to fall for all that is logical. But I've learned the hard way that logic won't necessarily make you happy. And whatever, like nurturing your heart and giving it whatever it wants is what is going to make you happy. And sometimes you, my own story is I don't care about money. I don't care about the fame. I don't care about money. Yet money is something that you need. But what I want to do is write. What I want to do is be creative. What I want to do is live a life like free of, concerns.
Yes. Yes.
And if I have to, I've learned to be okay with not needing, like not having money, but still being happy in my heart. You know what I mean? And I think that's
Yes.
what you've learned to do as well by living on the farm. It is very
Yeah.
unconventional, especially work in the business that you do, but
Mhm.
that's what you love.
Exactly. No, that's so true. And then also, I wanted to just add to that, like, you will get to a point to where like all of that balances itself out, you know. Um, I'm not quite there yet because I really, all I want to do is just be here on the farm and not do anything else. And like have like my little retreats and have fun with my people here on the farm, and like that's it. Dreka's not doing anything else. But it's like all things will align and balance, because again, hell, I need money too. You know what I'm saying? We all do to
We
survive.
all do.
But all of those right, but it's like all of that stuff will align and you will like your dream life will be fully supported. Like that, I guarantee you.
I love it.
Yeah.
Th-
No, seriously.
This is so magical. Like this is such a magical conversation. I love it.
Yes.
Like right now, the best would be Dreka, let's grab some drinks and keep talking like on the patio or in the garden or something.
Right. Oh my gosh. I'm like waiting to I have like this bed that I'm putting in the middle of my garden. It's like a big circle king
Mm.
size bed and it's modeled after like being in the womb. So next time we talk, I'll be there on my little bed with my little I'll make me a little cocktail with some berries from the farm.
I
And we
would
can
love
talk.
to. Oh, geez. So, you also mentioned that you don't really have friends.
Yeah.
Is that still the
Mm-mm.
case?
So yeah, that is, but and it's not, I don't consider that to be like a bad thing, but
Absolutely not.
my, yeah, no, not at all. Like my life is just so full with my family, so it would even kind of be a little difficult to have like especially having like someone that I'm spending a lot of time with, because
Yeah.
a lot of my time is spent with my family, and that's like my heart, but I do share moments and times with like other people outside of that, but most of it is filled with my family. So
Would
yeah.
you say that navigating life as a loner, and of course you have your family, but it's not even the same relationship as with friends. Um, so would you say that navigating life as a loner has contributed to you being so intuitive? The reason I'm asking that is because to me, like one of the main exercise to become more intuitive is to really let go of your main character energy. It's like to
Mhm.
remove yourself from actually like your body and become an observer. Like, okay, what is going on? What is happening? What do I sense? What does this person sense and why? Because we always
Mhm.
say that intuition is not similar to intellect. I honestly think that's not true, because
Mhm.
when you the way you are able to pick up on things is by observing, and then you
Mhm.
make a logic explanation of what you are observing, and that's how you become intuitive, because your body was instantly sense what is going on next time.
Right.
you know
Right.
so yeah, would you say that navigating life as a loner has contributed to that, to your intuition?
I would say yes, because, and I'm not saying that, please don't get this, not you, because I know that I'm just saying people that are watching this, but there are many distractions in life. Friends can be a distraction. Constantly, being here and being there can be a distraction, and constantly being in groups of people can be a distraction. So yes, it has. Like in my solitude is where I've grown the most and really
Mm.
have been able to tap into my intuition and all of my little magical abilities. So yes, it's very important. Like, and even if you're not, and believe it or not, I'm rarely that alone. That's why I said like I'm rarely alone. Like I go and run and like hide in my room at night just to get a good 30 minutes before I have to go to sleep, because that rarely happens. I constantly have people around me. So it's almost like, I do have friends all around all day, but solitude is where you will find that growth. It's very difficult to do it with, you know, other people, right on the side of you.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. I think we can say that you were gifted with clairvoyance. I know
mm,
of mm, I know of a time where you were clearly able to see and talk to the spirit of a loved one that has passed away.
mhm.
I want to know, how often do these manifestations occur? And have you ever seen anything that has scared the hell out of you?
Oh gosh.
We're getting deep. I'm telling you, we're getting deep.
Yes. um, yes, but
Ooh, man. Dreka has disappeared. If that isn't spirit,
I know. I was like, okay, they don't want us to talk about this.
no.
So when we go back, we're gonna move on. I was like, okay, stuff like that happens.
If no, but seriously though, if that is not spirit, I don't know what it is. So, do you want to get into it or do you want to move on?
I'm just gonna say that I see things, and I'll have these visions. They mostly come to me like at night when I'm sleeping. Sometimes when I'm outside, if I'm not doing, I have to be like completely still though,
Hmm.
and it just flows.
So,
Um, But yeah, you have me nervous now. I'm like, I don't even want to talk.
And you cleanse the whole space.
Yeah. But there's, they don't necessarily have to be bad.
No.
They're probably just like, you're sharing way too many secrets, woman. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Something I failed to ask you, like I forgot to ask you this. When you begin cleansing your space and playing with sage and Palo Santos, have you ever felt uncomfortable after like smudging the space? Because the other day I was getting ready to take a shower. I lit up some candles, I smudged the whole place. And then the whole time I was in my shower, I thought it was going to be like this, but no, it was like this. I was like,
what's going on?
I'm like, yo, I legit asked for all negative entities to live, but does that mean that we're actually negative entities? Like, were you actually there?
Right. That is so funny. And something that I have had to do in the past, like literally like opening up the windows after doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, dang, y'all are like just like trapped now. Like I need to really help y'all to go. So I have had that experience before, and I'm like, okay, we gotta open up some windows.
And have you ever had like glass shattered after you cleansed your space?
No, that's some extreme stuff right there.
Yes.
I'm sure others have experienced that. I haven't though.
Sometimes it happens for me. And this is also like I do want to cleanse my car so bad, but I'm so scared because I'm like, imagine if they leave while I'm driving and something really bad happens. I'm just like so scared. So I'm like, y'all can stay there, but don't come into my house.
That is so funny because we have this thing. Oh my gosh. Kevin and I have this thing with the cars when we have people in there, like somebody, I'm not gonna even say who it was, but it's someone that's not around right now, right? And they were in my truck and I came in the house and he was like, you just want to save your truck, huh? I was like, hell yeah, I did. So are you serious? I was like, yes, I did. And I left the doors open and I went in there and went over the whole thing. But yes. I was like, no, I don't play like that. I do not play like that. But
okay, we are heading towards the end of the interview. I just have like 2-3 questions left. Okay. This one is, has your spirituality ever scared or hurt you at some point in your life? But deep down, you were certain that sticking to it was the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's always scary because now you're trusting in something that you cannot fucking, excuse my language, that you cannot see. You cannot physically hear it or touch it. So you're literally trusting in the unknown. And it was like that for my entire life. Like I can only say that within the past 2 years that I've actually really, really like stuck to it and was like, I don't really care what anyone else has to say about what's happening or what, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no, this is what like my spirit, like my higher self is telling me to do. And this is what I'm going to do. Like nothing else matters. Like this is the right way. So yes, all the way up until 2020, I was very afraid of it because it's scary. Like that's like you're just like living life on a whim, as they say, but really like your higher self, like your spirit, like they will never lead you wrong, like ever.
I want to ask you something that's And that is really that is usually feelings that we tend to keep to ourselves.
Mhm.
Have you ever wished you were not so aware?
As a younger, um, unaware and unconscious being, yes. And I feel like a lot of people are like that. Like they don't, I'm not going to say they don't want to know the truth, that they don't want to live the truth, but they really like push it to the side. I was one of those people, but not anymore, because it's like where I'm at right now, like Savannah, I wouldn't change this shit for the world. Like, and I stand so strong in that. Like, I don't really care about anything but like my family, and taking care of myself, taking care of my family, and just living, you
Mm,
know. So it's like, I swear to God, I would not change it for like nothing in the world, because it's such a beautiful space to be in, you know. So it's like I am living proof that if you just keep going, just keep going. Like it is going to be painful, but like the other side is so much more beautiful.
yes.
Like
Mhm.
seriously.
Yeah.
It-
Spiritual awakenings, and this is why I love the fact that um s- new age spiritual leaders are shedding light on that. Spiritual awakenings are painful. It is not for the weak. It is not for the faint of heart. It is painful. You're gonna cry like tears of blood, and no, it's just really painful. It's not all sunshine and
Mm-mm.
rainbows. It's, I mean,
It's not at all like, and that is, I mean, like balled up on the floor crying, like, why me? That was me. Like, you will literally feel like shit just can't get any worse.
mm-mm.
And it's like, but you have to feel that in order. That is your awakening. So it's like, are you just gonna sit there and stay balled up on the floor crying? Or are you, you know what I'm saying, like really gonna take a step back, you know what I'm saying, like really gather yourself, ground out, and really just get to the bottom of it? And
Yeah,
it's so
and
much more beautiful.
stop asking yourself why, and stop asking
Right.
yourself if things make sense.
Right. Oh my gosh. Man, I'm so sorry for cutting you off,
Oh, go
but
ahead.
for anyone to like come in and they'd be like, nothing that you're doing is like expected or normal or makes sense. Like, why would you give up this for that? And why would you do this instead of that? And it's like, hell, I don't know. But I know that I know, like, I know that what I'm doing right now is what I'm supposed to be doing, because it feels so damn good. Like, and
Just
it's so freeing.
peaceful. It's peaceful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, so do you have a spirit animal, and is it living on the farm?
No, it's not here on the farm. You know what recently came to me was that I was like a lioness.
A
And
lioness?
I don't,
You
yes,
do
I
look
don't
like
have a
a
lion though.
lioness.
I don't have one, but I feel like that is in this moment, like that's what I am. Like, yeah, that's just so cool. You just asked me that. Because it just came to me like a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, oh yeah, that is
Yeah.
me right now.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
well, my last question was, in a short sentence, can you tell me what it means to you to work the magic within?
ooh, ooh. To work the magic within is to be in tune with like yourself, with your higher self, your authentic self, and being that unapologetically, and just like living and embodying that to the fullest. That is working the magic within.
Yes.
Like, yes. work it, like seriously.
Work it,
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah. Yes.
Work a man. Oh, well, Dreka, thank you so much for this amazing time I had with you. Honestly, I was nervous before doing the interview. I don't know why, but I really felt nervous, but everything went super great in my opinion. I really had an amazing time with you. Um, so grateful and thankful that you actually like saved over an hour of your time, precious time for me. It means a lot to me. It means a lot that you accepted to do this interview because that means that you believe in my vision.
Yes.
And hopefully, well, I know it's going to work, but the intention that you placed on this whole interview, I'm looking forward to see how it's going to expand.
Oh yes.
And girl, do a podcast, do something. And I would, okay, so
You have to be my co-host because we vibe really well.
we do like really well. Honestly, I'm 100% down, 100%.
Okay.
But yeah,
All
and
right.
your retreats as well. Your retreats as well. I do want to
Yes.
come. I'll be there. I'll
Yes.
be
No,
there.
we will be, this isn't like, this is kind of like, I'm looking at this as like the beginning of something great. Like we're going to cultivate something so beautiful together. And I just want to thank you for like giving me the opportunity to, just share with you and really like with everyone. And this will be received, really, trust me. Like,
Oh, I'm
yeah.
praying. I'm praying. Thank you so much.